The following is an original Aliven podcast.
Well, gentlemen, we had ourselves a really nice off week to, just kind of chill out and relax a little bit. I know Sly has been, he's kind of been going through a little bit of withdrawals. Wyatt, it seems like you're dealing with a little bit of withdrawals. I would go through my withdrawals with NASCAR being off this past weekend, but obviously, you had things like iRacing and streaming in my case to really kind of cope with those withdrawals. But this week, NASCAR is back, and for this episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR, it's gonna be a little bit more chill. I'm Elijah Leonard, one of your co-hosts. The second half to the co-host section is Wyatt Walker. To the bottom is Sly Stapleton. Will be here shortly. But gentlemen, I didn't even realize this, and I didn't even touch on this until I uploaded last week's episode onto Spotify and also onto YouTube as well. But last week was our 150th episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. So we have 50 episodes left until we get to 200. Man, that's honestly, that's kind of a crazy number, if you ask me. I know, like with like the pit stop show in the past, we've gotten as high as like 120. The Enter All the Way podcast days probably got about to a similar number, maybe like a 110 or something. But no, out of all the racing podcasts that we've done, I know Sly was not here for the WLA/Enter All the Way podcast or even the NASCAR Pit Stop Show days. This podcast is probably the longest running episodic NASCAR show that we have ever done.
I think I came here at episode 87, I believe, which was the Daytona 500.
Absolutely. Last year's Daytona 500.
And for me, I've been around since like the pit stop show. I don't remember about I was a part of, like maybe towards the end of the WRL, the other one.
WRLA.
It was WRL. Okay, I just didn't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I thought it's right, but it's like I just didn't want to seem like an idiot. But yeah, I think I came at the very end of that one, and I was around like the beginning of the pit stop show when it was just me, Elijah, Zachary Taylor, and Sean Ard.
Mm-hmm.
With a couple of few special guests every now and then.
Absolutely. And then obviously there was some other panelists that we don't talk about anymore. Anyways, but as far as GTN, it's honestly amazing of how far we've come along, especially with even in the early days, where we had a lot of multiple setbacks and, having to, push recordings back or cancel like a couple of seasons. I know we did that in 2023. But regardless of that, we've been around for quite a while. And, honestly, had we not canceled the 2023 season, we probably would have made it to 200 episodes right about now. But regardless of that, I think we're still on pretty good tracks to break 200 regardless. Also,
if I would have known about this sooner, I probably would have been here a little bit longer than I've been.
Yeah, you probably would have. But also, one more thing that we're going to touch on here, because after I get done with my little spiel, Wyatt is going to catch you guys up on what the point standings look like as we go into Iowa. And then there's a couple of other things that we're going to talk about on top of that. Is that this episode, given the fact that we're just now coming off of an off week, is not going to be as long as, what we would just reviewing a race weekend and going over the breaking stories, the results, vice versa, in not in that particular order, but you guys know the normal order that we go in. But regardless of that, this episode obviously is going to be a little bit shorter, and obviously it is recorded, so it's not going to be as loose as what last week's episode was. So
you think?
I don't think I know.
We're back to PG rating.
I think it's cool though going off that, you mentioned like last week's was our 150th. It's fun, like how we kind of got loose and kind of did that live, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah.
We didn't like we like I said, me and Sly, we're just finding this out, and this actually for me on that is pretty cool because I've been here since day one of the gamers talk. That me and Elijah, we I don't remember how it started, but I know we talked about it, and then it just started.
Yeah.
Me and Elijah with day one. I've been here since day one, and 150 episodes is just crazy. And seeing all like the past episodes pop up too, just trying to relive a little bit of those, trying to rewatch them when I get a chance. To just
I've
seeing how
watched a couple of y'all's episodes from 22. Your camera actually worked better, Wyatt.
believe it. You want to know what's funnier? That's that's my laptop camera. That's my that's my laptop camera.
Um, and
That was when the screen actually worked and it didn't crack. So I
but
can
no,
actually use said
you
screen.
know, and also it's like as long as I've been watching NASCAR or even listening to other stuff, I would have never thought y'all did this. Um, but with stuff that had happened at the end of 2023, this actually helps me cope with it.
Oh yeah.
So, and we all thought, I figured this probably would be a one-off shot. Nope. It's like a cockroach. You can't get rid of me.
You came in one time, and then just like you became one of our main panels. I remember, I don't remember, he came in, I think he came in, was it last year
Yeah.
at Stapleton?
It was last year.
When me and you talked about it, we had some people show up every now and then as as guests, and then like Stapleton showed up, and then he messaged us and being like, "Hey, let's get
I kind of
hey,
want to get on the show.
I want to get on the show." So
Forgot how I found out y'all did this. I forgot totally.
I don't remember either.
Uh,
I think you
yeah.
were talking to us and we brought it up. He's like, "Hey," or I was like, I was like, "Do we want a special guest? Like, we haven't had a special guest, which I kind of want to see if we could get in. We could find someone get like a special guest. We'll probably talk more about the off stream, off recording. But it's like I think that's how we brought it up off camera. I think we messaged you about it or told you about it, then asked if you, and then you asked us or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
About the,
but
and then you showed
come on,
up.
you.
No, you're good. You showed up, and it just clicked,
Yep.
and now you're officially one of our panels.
One of us.
That's
One of
one of
us.
us. Okay, so
One
maybe
of
we
us.
can get back on track again.
But all right, I think we've definitely done enough
Yeah.
talking in that area. Wyatt, let's start off the episode hot. Go for it, man.
And now it's back to a segment of all the damn points. Now, as we alluded to, we had no race last week. All of our points are the same as last week, but I do want to go over them for the sake of our fresh memories. Trucks is off, but I will still go ahead and review truck since we won't be seeing them till next week. Start off with the truck series. We have 5 drivers currently locked in the truck series, which is half the not half the field, half of our chase contender. Lane Riggs with 5 wins, 350 points. He's locked in. Caden Honeycutt, only 1 win, 251, locked in. Chandler Smith, 2 wins, 178, locked in. Christian Eckes, the highest non-winning driver, 132, locked in. And Gio Ruggiero, 126, It's the last one locked in to the chase for the Truck Series. Then we got Ty Majeski, 81 points above. Ben Rhodes, 43. Grant Enfinger, the other winner, 26 points above. Then Hemrick, 14. Friesen, 8 points above. That is current. Before we get to is it what's the next? Is it Richmond's the next one for trucks, correct?
Correct.
We get to Richmond, and then New Hampshire is the regular season finale for the Truck Series. So we got Tyler Ingram out by 8 points. Jake Garcia out by 32. Andres Perez, 42. Brendan Queen, 43. Justin Haley, 59. Tanner Gray, 62. These three, I believe, are mathematically eliminated. Dawson Sutton, 113 below. Minnie Tyrell, 140. Also tied with Cole Butcher. Now to review the O'Reilly series, which this is actually their penultimate race of the regular season. They got one more, which is Daytona, which is like all the way at the end of August. End of the month, I should say. Be more specific. But right now we also have, is it a little over half of the field locked in. We have 7 drivers currently locked in chase for the O'Reilly series. The obvious one, Justin Allgaier, not just locked into the chase, locked in as our regular season champion with 6 wins, 456 above the cut line. Then our most recent winner, Carson Quapple, is also locked in with 191 points. Jesse Love, our only non-winner that is locked in to the chase, being 187 points. Being Jesse Love. Huh? Sheldon Creed, 173. Corey Day, so far the only rookie locked in to the chase, 159. Brandon Jones, 132. And then our last one is Austin Hill with 128. Sammy Smith, 98 points above the cutoff. Parker Retzloff, I think, as we mentioned week after week after week, our biggest surprise as a chase contender, being 56 points above the cutoff. Sam Mayer, 29. Rookie Brent Cruz, 13. And then our last spot, and it's actually a fight between 3. I'll mention the other guy, but I find this interesting. 3 of our JGR cars are fighting for 2 spots in the chase, but they also have another driver behind them. We got Taylor Gray last in with 7 above, and William Sawalich 7 below. With, I think, mathematically the only other person even able to be in this fight, Roger Carruth, only 20 down going into Richmond. With just that fun low add them, Ryan Sieg, 74, and then Anthony Alfredo, 121.
I'll be very honest when I say this, and I don't think we even touched on it last week. But in my mind, going into Iowa this weekend, Sammy Smith, I think, is going to be the last driver to lock himself in.
Sammy Smith?
Sammy Smith, I feel like, is going to be the last one to lock himself in. If he gets
on how well Retzloff does, he may be second.
Probably. I feel like, though, Sammy Smith is, besides everybody else that's locked in, he's in a good enough spot to where he could probably still lock in before Daytona. If he can still get the stage points, if he can get a good finish, like top 10 at the bare minimum, then I feel like he could still have a good opportunity of locking himself in before Daytona. Parker Retzloff, same thing for him, but I feel like he would really need to perform excellent, like this week and then the next week. It's kind of close. It's kind of slim for Parker Retzloff. I see it more with Sammy Smith than I do Retzloff. Meanwhile, as what? Did you see your headset die?
Okay, I do apologize. Can y'all hear? Okay, I do apologize. My headset died on me.
Yeah, I called it.
For whatever reason, my headset just died on me.
Oh,
Well, I'm going to let that charge, even though you should have been charging the whole time. At least it's better. At least it's better than the internet cutting out on me. Anyways, sorry, I wasn't sounding as good as I was before. Uh, so what I was. Will you remind me? Because my brain just had a brain fart for a minute. Were you saying something?
I think your brain died too.
Anyways, was I about to say something before? I think I was. Were you still mid talking when it died, or was I
yeah.
about to
You
say?
probably I probably was still talking just as your headset died. The only thing I wrapped up that thought was I see Sammy Smith locking in a little like the chances of Sammy Smith locking in are a lot better than Parker Retzloff chances.
Did hear that, and I think I was going to mention like the real battle depends on how well Sam Mayer. I'd say between like Sam Mayer and Roger Cruz, depending on how that goes, it's going to be a 5-horse fight for 3 spots going into Daytona.
Yeah.
And how unpredictable Daytona usually is. This is going to be an interesting fight. But it also depends on how well, like we're going to Iowa. I don't know why I keep thinking Rich, but Iowa. And I can see like some of these drivers doing pretty well at Iowa. Like who was last year's winner? I cannot remember. It wasn't Sammy Smith, was it?
Mm,
No, it wasn't Sammy Smith. Who won?
no, I can't remember exactly who.
I don't think Connor won that race.
I think Sly's gonna beat you to the punch.
Probably is.
Yes, he loves. Or no, he was the pole. Actually, no, yeah, it was Sam Mayer secured his first victory of the 2025 season.
Then that is interesting to note because like he's the most recent winner. There it is, if I could speak in the O'Reilly series, and we're coming to a track that he has won at. So this is going to be interesting going to Iowa. So we may Sam Mayer if he has a good enough race. He might walk in. He might
Because
walk in.
also it was I guess like a milestone thing that it marked the first series victory for Ford and Haas factory team of the season.
Yep, that sounds right. The only one, well, actually, I think both rookies were not in this race. So this will be a first time visit for both Raja Caruth and Brent Cruz. If I'm looking at this finishing results correct, yeah. I forgot Austin. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what. Oh yeah, that track. I forgot he was out that race. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Austin Dillon was in the 21.
Yep. That's right. I forgot about that.
Forgot about too, and the reason because of what?
Austin Hill at freaking Indy last year. Let his temper tantrum get the best of him.
I forgot about that. That was funny. Looking at these, I'm already kind of getting an idea who I want to pick on some stuff, but I'll try to come back to that Allgaier won the stage. So did Ryan. Ryan Steve won the stage? Huh. But yeah, getting off topic for a minute, that is interesting to know with this point standings. And with Brent Cruz and Raja Cruz not knowing. Actually, I think Raja might, because didn't the trucks ran at Iowa, didn't they? Or it's not ran at Iowa in a few years.
They haven't ran in several years. I don't think they ran there since 2019.
Probably. Didn't they run 2020 though?
No. They didn't go to Iowa in 2020.
Oh well, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, first time visit for both Brent Cruz and Roger Cruz, and to add on for the Red Sloth deal, he drove for Alpha Prime. He finished 13th.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. We move on. We move on to the Cup Series, who's making their third visit to Iowa. Now, going over, reviewing the Cup Series chase. We have 4 drivers locked in for the next 4 races. Denny Hamlin, no surprise, 406. Tyler Reddick, also no surprise, 322, even though he's been falling off. Ryan Blaney, 286. And then Ty Gibbs, 271. Now, all the drivers who are not locked in yet, which could, depending on how well they do, they could get locked in by this week, by Iowa. Carson Hocevar, 158. Chase Elliott, 155. Chase Briscoe, 143. Granted, I'm not saying who's getting locked in or not. I'm just now listing off the numbers. To clarify. I don't want to get all the way 16 to be like, no, not all of them are getting locked in. Kyle Larson, the only non-winner, the highest non-winning driver, which is tied actually with Chris Buescher, both with 137. Hopefully, for Stapleton's sake, he actually has a good race at Iowa. Larson, hope this off week has helped Larson get his stuff figured back out so he can be competitive again and not crash out and all that. So hopefully figure stuff out. As I mentioned, Chris Buescher's tied with Larson, both 137. Christopher Bell, 129 points. Daniel Suarez, 103. William Byron, who is the most recent winner at Iowa, 88 points above. Joe Logano, 65. Bubba Wallace, 60. SVG, 57. And then the last spot in currently, Austin Cindric, 38. Ryan Preece, first out by 38. Eric Jones, 44. Brad Keselowski, 50. Michael McDowell, 76. Ross Chastain, 82. And AJ Allmendinger, 109.
I'm just going to do a bold prediction on this one. I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere throughout the race, but Kyle Larson's going to spin out in turn 1.
Don't let Stapleton hear you say that.
All right.
I don't care. I'd say it if he was here.
I'm going to also say this. Let me also make this prediction. Kyle Larson will win the pole at Iowa. And then going into turn 1, he's going to get bumped and he will spin out of the lead. Basically replicating what happened at Richmond in his rookie year when Clint Boyer did the exact same thing to him when Larson won the pole for Richmond. That the coup de grace to this whole deal is if Hocevar's the one that does it.
Here's a good question.
Yeah.
The next races we're going to, and if I'm missing one, correct me. We have 4 races left. Currently, Iowa we're about to go to. We got Richmond, New Hampshire, Daytona. How well do we think Larson is in upcoming races? He has a win in Richmond. He does have a Richmond win.
Say his name and he appears.
And speaking of,
Speaking of the downward spiral of Larson, I mean, what?
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna leave after that.
Well,
Oh,
we
gee.
weren't actually talking about Larson.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
funny enough. Funny enough.
We were talking about Larson.
Well, I mean, you saw, with me saying in the group chat that I would be in here after I got done with Golden Invest, here I am.
Here I am.
So the question I was, because we're reviewing to give you a head, catch you up, and we'll tell them about the news about the last episode here in a second too. But after I get done with my segment, but we were talking about like with the 4 races going, excuse me, how we think Larson comes up to these next few races, because he is on a downwards, but he is not having the best last few weeks. And I don't know if this. I hope this off season has got his mind back on track, so he can work. We can get to Iowa and run good. But here's my question: we got Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, Daytona. How well do we think he'll do in these next 4 races? Richmond, he has a win. I think he's only 2. Is it 2? I know he won for Chip Ganassi. I do not remember if he's won with Hendrick.
I'm pretty sure he has. I think he has one Hendrick win at Richmond. I'm pretty sure
Probably
he has
came
one.
in like 23
It
or
was the next
24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for Larson at Iowa?
At Richmond.
No,
Richmond.
Oh, listen.
Yeah.
I think it's the same race that he won Richmond. I think, and for Hendricks, I think it's the same race that Josh Berry filled in for the 9.
Kyle Larson's last win at Richmond was on April 2nd, 2023.
Oh.
Okay. Yep.
Ah.
So yeah.
So
I
you
thought he
were.
won.
So as far as the substitution, you definitely might have hit it on the head there. Because Elliott was out for a good portion of that season because of a broken leg.
Yeah.
He was injured. But yeah, going back to it, I think Richmond is probably going to be the only other track that Larson may have a legit chance of getting a regular season win. That's honestly my opinion. Loudon, I don't think so. Daytona.
I mean,
hopefully the big one doesn't happen.
For Daytona, he is fast with Hendrick, so he will probably be in contention, but he will probably wet in the process.
That's why I'm hoping the big one doesn't happen with him in the middle of that pack.
Oh, and here's a quick funny thing. With Larson's last win, do you remember who got second place?
Josh Berry. I was just talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Watermelon Man got third.
Okay, I didn't know who got third, but I at least knew, like, I thought that, like, the last win with Larson had Josh Berry subbing for
As
Elliott.
his teammate. Yeah, because he was his teammate.
9 come up second. So yeah, that's
But no, honestly though, with how he's been on short tracks, at least this year, I'm not too stint with Larson at Iowa and Richmond. Honestly.
Where did he finish the only 2 Iowa races? He finished
last year he qualified third.
Oh,
and finished 28th. I don't know what happened, but he finished 28th.
That's not good look. That's
Nah.
already. That's already like a
Point. And then 2024, Wilson won the pole, so first and third. Okay, thanks. Racing reference just says accident turn 2, accident turn 1. It doesn't say who's involved. Thanks. But I'm assuming Wilson was in a crash because he finished 34th and only completed 314 of 350. So I think he was involved in the crash. So he qualifies good, first and third, but I wonder if something has happened in both
And-
Iowa races.
I know you
for him to
may
finish.
have you may have hit the head on your
And
You may-
Larson's led a total of 80 laps between 24 and last year.
Yeah, that's kind of concerning. And with the run that and the field of Larson's on right now, should with Richmond most likely being his only hope, Larson might be the surprise that don't make the chase. Or do you think he maybe, even with a couple of bad races, he may still have a good enough point gap?
I still think he'll make it.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
will still make it because
Be close.
the thing is, I don't think it's gonna be as close as he think. I think where's he at in points? 8th or 9th?
At least.
He's tied. He's tied basically 8th or 9th. He's tied with Chris Buescher.
8.5.
Okay. Well,
8.5.
8.5. Yeah, let's take that.
I don't think it's gonna drop from a tie for 8th to outside of top 17 in 4 races, even with bad luck. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I would
'Cause, like-
say maybe 3, maybe the most.
Yeah, I think Wilson will make it. I don't think he's gonna be a championship contender if he doesn't get the momentum on his side. 2 months ago, I would say he would be a sneaky title contender with that top 5 streak. But now he cannot catch up weight. But I think he will make it because he's qualified good at Iowa the last 2 years. He's running well at Richmond. He got top 6 last year there. I just looked up. New Hampshire, I don't know. In the Daytona, he's fast, but he will probably be anyway.
The one
So
thing about New Hampshire, it's either dominated by Toyota or it's dominated by Ford.
Yeah.
When we think of New Hampshire, who do we think of? And I'm not even being biased. Who do we think of?
Bell.
Bell.
Mhm.
Bell has dominated like that track in the lower series,
Mhm.
truck series, O'Reilly's. He is dominant at New Hampshire. I think he's only ran. I don't even know how many races he ran in the O'Reilly's at New Hampshire. Even being a cup, I think he's won like 4 or 5 of them, and he's won about almost all of them. Every
Yeah.
start he's been at New Hampshire in the O'Reilly's. Granted that don't always match up all the time with Cup, but he does have 2 Cup wins at honestly, prove me wrong. If it did not get close, if the race didn't get shut out by the darkness, he could have 3 New Hampshire wins.
Yeah, I mean, I
True.
just looked at racing reference. Wilson did get 7th at New Hampshire last year, so I don't think Wilson's that as bad as
So
I thought. There.
Richmond and New Hampshire might be the only saving grace right now.
Mhm.
New Hampshire's always, like, to me, always been like a big pit strategy
Mhm.
kind of track. You know, I know I brought up iRacing before, and I ran O'Reilly's at New Hampshire, and I've gone from the back, not to the all the way to the front, but like right around 8th to 10th.
Mhm.
So it is ultimately to me a pit strategy kind of track.
So this is going to be interesting going into it.
Oh yeah.
So what about the guys below? Like we talk short tracks. One of the best of the short tracks, not really on the cup side. He has really, but he's not really the cup side. Not the best, but when we think of short tracks, his name always comes up. Ryan Preece is only first out by 38 points, and we've got 3 short tracks back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's finished the last few, but he's always someone to keep an eye out to gain more points.
Definitely. I think like the Priest is gonna make it very interesting for that cut line. Because he is very good at short tracks, and with Richmond, Iowa, and New Hampshire, if Cinder's not careful, Priest could sneak his way in to the chase.
Eric Jones is still not that far back either. We're coming up to the tracks and he ain't. I'm not sure he's been the best at, but I know Legacy has been pretty good as of late, and especially Eric Jones coming out of nowhere, still being top 20 in points. Only not that he's only 44 back, but he's still somewhat in the fight. I don't know how well the short track is, but he's still there. I don't know about Brad anymore. I think there is some short tracks he's good, but I just don't know about Brad as much as I am with his mate Ryan Priest.
Absolutely.
And it's a question on how well SVG's been surprising us all, no doubt. But I'm wondering with these next few weeks, how well has he learned? Some of my biggest concerns when it comes to like next few weeks on short tracks, and then not to mention Daytona at the end, which is a wild card for anybody. Despite how far a bit more spread the cut line's been on the Cup Series, these next 4 weeks, you look at all of these names: Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, SVG. You could still make the argument about how well some of these guys would go, and not. I still think like Byron up, maybe Logano is the argument. Logano's good. Logano, as much as I hate to admit, Logano's good at elite these 3 tracks. So
Yeah.
As much as I hate to
and
admit,
then
pretty good.
Penske's always good at Daytona.
Yeah. Penske's
So like these 4 tracks are very Penske heavy. So I think Logano should be good.
Penske won New Hampshire last year. Blaney's always good at Iowa. He's the inaugural Iowa winner in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of the Penske guys. It's Austin Cindric I worry more, and I think Elijah touched on it last week. Talked about like about the cut line and all that. But honestly, as well as Bubba Wallace has been, how good Bubba Wallace has been, he's only 60 above. These next few weeks, I'm not sure. I think Bubba Wallace's best track, believe it or not, is Daytona. My personal opinion. So I'd say keep an eye on 14th through 18th or 19th between them. Keep an eye on them when this cut line.
Yeah.
And now to wrap it all up, we review our GTN points going into Iowa. As I previously mentioned, there was nothing last week, so there's been no change of points. Sly is still our points with 87 points, 4 points above both me and Elijah. Us being 83, and then Stapleton 81.5.
And I know we touched a little bit, I think, before, but we got him to pick a Cup driver, and they didn't win.
I mean, on the good part, we get to it, there is another one. And I think you know what you got to do on that Stapleton.
One.
Wait, what?
Hmm?
I've
There's
not seen the
one.
entry list for Iowa yet.
Look in the group DM Stapleton.
Oh. Okay, I see it.
Yeah. But as he looks at that, that concludes my segment of all the damn points.
Okay. So let's go over the two pieces of stories that had come out, as of recently. The first of which, obviously, is Carson Brown, who is a part of the Arkham Menard series, is making his O'Reilly Series debut this weekend, driving for Jordan Anderson in the number 32, which honestly, for him, I think this is actually a pretty cool opportunity, given the fact that, he is, still relatively young, but, he even got his first win in the ARCA series in his debut at Phoenix earlier this year.
Yeah, that's the last thing I remember.
That is the only thing I remember about Carson Brown. And when I first heard about it, I was like, Carson Brown? I don't know who that is. And then I looked through his Instagram page. And I'm like, oh my God, that Carson Brown, the one that won at Phoenix earlier this year. So he's making his debut for Jordan Anderson Racing and O'Reilly's. And honestly, hey man, that's a pretty cool opportunity, man. Best of luck to him.
And honestly, I feel like that I saw Eric East's video today, and he pointed out about the Cousin Brown debut. Also we know Jesse Love's going up the Cup already, and I guess it sounds like Austin Hill might be the leading candidate for the 33 next year. If that's the case, then there's 2 open spots for FCR team in O'Reilly, and most likely I could see Cousin Brown getting either the 2 or the 21 next year, depending on how he does in his debut at Iowa.
And that's another thing that we haven't brought up. Like we brought up some drivers like Josh Berry going down there. We brought up what's other names we brought up?
Noah Gregson, I think.
Noah Gregson, yeah, but I think Front Row is actually trying to secure a deal to extend his contract. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but he is another name that we mentioned because RCR was wanting him for that 33, but I guess they're switching back to Austin Hill, which that's going to be a stacked rookie class if Austin Hill's up here. That's more.
Well, it's also not going to be counted as a rookie for next year. I don't know if he will be counted as a rookie.
He should be counted as a rookie because,
Well, here's the thing: has he ran a full-time Cup before?
No.
Then he would.
The only reason he's running all these races because
it was Kyle Busch's car.
Yeah, and he's.
But
I just don't know if there's that rules of the Rookie of the Year stuff, because I know at one point it was like you can't win more than 7 clear races in that series, or then it was like as long as you only announce we're going for Rookie of the Year, then it's I don't know. The Rookie of the Year eligibility thing's been all over the place. I wasn't sure on Austin Hill.
Yeah, I kind of want to look something up real quick. If he is going for Rookie of the Year, where's his point situation? With I know he's not running for points, but I'm just curious if he's even above. He's even above Connor Zillage in the point. I'm curious on that. Oh, he's not even listed.
No.
Well, yeah, because he's not able to get any points.
I know he's not able. Yeah.
So there wouldn't be, looking it up was like.
Yes.
Wasn't even bothered.
Fair point. But that does bring.
But yeah, I think since he hasn't ran full time in Cup before, and say he does stay in the 33 full time, then I think he would be go for Rookie of the Year. Maybe the oldest rookie, but yeah, that'd be like me going for Rookie of the Year, racing against you guys.
Here's the thing. Think about if that is true. Think of the rookie class: Corey Heim, Jesse Love, Austin Hill. No, there's one more I can't think of. There's one more, right?
I think so. But I don't. Oh, would it be Lane Riggs if he went up to Cup?
Yeah,
somehow?
if he took over the Ford, he would be the other. Nothing's confirmed, but right now we already have a stacked rookie class with Corey Heim and Jesse Love. Austin,
yeah.
I honestly think he should be the one. He's been doing well in the 33. Not the best, but at least enough for the RCR standards. Currently for the Cup Series, he's been doing decently. He's been trying to keep his car clean the best he can when he's not involved in any of the wrecks. I'd say he's been doing pretty well. So putting someone else in that car after Austin Hill's been running good in 33 just feels weird. Just like going back to the O'Reilly series with him, that brings up a bunch of stuff. We still see like a Cup guy go down and run back to O'Reilly, but like you mentioned, a development driver in Carson Brown, and he's an RCR driver. I don't necessarily say curveball, but that would be an interesting swing to have, especially if we're about to lose like two good O'Reilly drivers to the Cup Series.
All right. Let's talk about the second piece here. And this is one that supposedly it's not really official, at least not yet, as far as we're aware of. But there are some possible more layers to the Jimmy Johnson last ride deal that is starting to potentially unfold before our eyes. Wyatt, would you want to give us a little bit more insight, since you did post the screenshots into our group chat?
So I was just looking on Facebook, and I just happened to see on the first, the people who are able to look at all of us in the panel, and if you're possibly people on YouTube as well, look at the first screenshot I put. Lowe's own account, Lowe's own Facebook account, and apparently they tweeted it at Ally at Carvana. Need an ally for a last race. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I look at this one, and it's just like followed up with firms like Ally, Lowe's. We could have. This is a big tease. This is a huge tease about like Lowe's returning for one more race. One more race, one final race. Jim Johnson's final race in the 48 at the Daytona 500. This would be amazing. Nothing's confirmed yet. I'm surprised this tease coming as early as it is.
Oh yeah.
I was expecting I don't know if a lot of us was. Me personally, I was kind of expecting this to be like maybe a few months down the line, maybe around when the chase is starting. About this, or at Daytona. I think Daytona would have been interesting to have that, but since they're teasing stuff right now, do we think we could see like an official announcement in the next few weeks? And granted, if this week, if it does have this week when the episode comes out Thursday, we'll cover it next week. But
Honestly, I think what would be kind of cool, I know it's like a month out, but what if they do the announcement of, I guess, Ally, Rose, Kavana at Daytona for the regular season finale to promote for the 2027 Daytona 500 for Jimmy's Fast Ride. I know that's a month, and I know that would be a lot of teasing, probably, but
I
it
can.
it would make sense. Make the announcement at Daytona for the 2027 Daytona 500.
Oh yeah.
This would be cool. I already know.
But knowing
find that
them,
nice.
they might do it before, but that's how I would do it.
I'm just waiting for them to start teasing Chad Canals. That's what I'm just waiting for.
There's definitely a lot of things to really look forward to. That for sure is one of them, you know, with the news that we could see later on with Lowe's, Carvana, Ally all coming together to be on Jimmy Johnson's car for his last ride in the Daytona 500 next year. That could also be another layer that could get uncovered in the next few weeks, though. I know we have joked about it, but I think at this rate with, you know, Lowe's, Carvana, and Ally all kind of supposedly revealing a lot more layers than what we probably would have expected. I probably would take Chad Knaus being Jimmy Johnson's crew chief one more time to be a possible theory as well.
I think if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of tears shed at the end of the race if Knaus comes back one final time.
Just,
And I ain't gonna lie, I'll be one of them.
Oh yeah.
I'll be.
You know, well, besides you're going to be there. But yeah,
Cool.
but if you think for 16 years, Jimmy's had Lowe's as a sponsor. I think that's a long. I don't know if that's the longest tenured sponsorship for a team.
How long has FedEx been with Denny Hamlin?
God,
Probably up until 2024. There was also DuPont / Exalta with Jeff Gordon for a while.
And like,
okay, 20 years.
What was it?
Damn.
20 years. Pretty much 19 seasons spanning 20 years. FedEx has sponsored Denny Hamlin.
How about M&M's from Kyle Busch or any candy related team from Kyle Busch?
2008 through 2022.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's about like 14.
And I mean, technically, Azulta is still around with Fenwick, not with Gordon now. But
I think between Johnson and Lowe's, and like I think Hamlin may have Jimmy Johnson beat on that one. But
Well, and I just looked it up. The longest tenured sponsor for a NASCAR team, not just driver, but for a NASCAR team, Interstate Batteries.
I was about to say.
oh yeah, Joe Gibbs, yeah.
Between different drivers, but as soon before you brought up like Interstate Batteries, yeah, because it's been around since oh come on, not before my Dale Jarrett.
Yep.
Jarrett.
And there's at least 2 drivers that have won with the Interstate Batteries sponsor.
No, there's
I said at least 2.
Well, I know at least 3 because Kyle's won in the interstate car, and I know Bobby Labonte has. I would assume Dale Jarrett had as well, right?
think I would imagine.
I know because like I'm trying to think of drivers who's also raced like with all the mixed sponsors recently. I know Bell hasn't won. I know Ty Gibbs hasn't won. There wasn't
I don't
anyone-
think Ty Gibbs would go with interstate batteries. Since he's been up in Cup, he's been
No, he's
monster.
He's driven a. I'm not mistaken. He has driven a interstate batteries car before, I believe. Not a lot, but at least once. I forgot. Like Truex even he's not won it, but I know Truex has raced a interstate batteries car once in the 19. But I think it's only 3 drivers that has won in the interstate batteries, which is Dale Jarrett, Bubba Labonte, and Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of those Kyle Busch's wins came at Auto Club. I think multiple of his wins came at Iowa, not Iowa Auto Club, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's just 3.
That's what I thought.
Dale Jarrett drove it or won it in the 93 Daytona 500. Bobby Labonte kept, won 21 Cup Series and the 2000 championship. And then Kyle Busch in 2015.
Since you mentioned it, might as well put it on.
Might
Since we're talking about it, might as well put it on.
as well.
He slides like it's like but yeah, just like going back on main topic, like Lowe's with Jimmy Johnson, as we mentioned, it's been one of the longest, not the longest, but one of the longest sponsors in sports, and especially driver sponsor pairing. At least it is one of the longest.
Yes.
We previously mentioned. Can't think Lowe's without Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-mm.
That's hard. And I love how like the 3 sponsors have been with him the last few years, just like coming together. It'd be interesting if they all come together with a paint scheme. I don't know how that's looking because I'm trying to put something on top of my head.
I'm sorry, but like if they're gonna do this with Lowe's, I mean, I know you got like the parts of the cars, how you got like say the rear quarter panel, you have a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have Carvana on one side, Ally on the other side, but you gotta go full blown Lowe's colors.
Yeah.
There's no thirds, there's no half and half. It's all or nothing, in my opinion, with the Lowe's
Yeah, easily.
sponsorship. Because you're going with the original, what was it, yellow 48, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yep.
If you're doing that, you have to go. You have to. Nothing else will look right.
You could put like sponsors of Ally and Carvana on there, but
Yeah.
I do agree with Sly. You gotta do all those. I don't see how, especially with this being his last race in the 48. Granted, the manufacturer's going to be different, which I think is still pretty cool for WRLA standards. But other than that, it's just like it's really cool.
And you know what I would really like to see is what they did with Dale Earnhardt when he won the Daytona 500. When he finally became the bride and not the bridesmaid and all that. Where everybody from every team lined up across pit road. That's one thing I would like to see.
That would be cool to see in person. And not to mention the fact, like, I think a double whammy for me, not just the fact it's going to be Daytona 500, but went to my first ever NASCAR race. The first person I got to see win was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
The 2015 Texas race. Second Texas race, the one in the playoffs. I got to see him win. and it would be amazing for me if he was able to conquer, get his third Daytona, not only just get his third Daytona 500, but also just like not all with legacy, with Lowe's, with his own 48, just like somehow win the Daytona, win last ever race, last ever Daytona 500, win with Chad Canals, with Lowe's, just all the fixings. As you mentioned, as you said, a lot of people's going to be tearing up. Honestly, I might, and everyone knows, like, I know it's nothing against Jim Johnson, but I'm a Joe Gibbs guy through and through. But it's like I would be so happy to see that.
You know, and I know I've alluded to this before many times. I'm from his hometown of El Cajon. You know, and I got all excited and everything every time that he won. Because, you know, it's like, you know, if people are like, we'll go college football, you know, Wolverine fans, you know, when they win, you know, stuff like that. But it's going to, in a way, it's going to be like 01 all over again. But it's not.
Yeah, I got one more thing to add on too, and this is more for personally for me. His wife is actually from a town not that far from me called Muskogee. If you know country music, okay, from Muskogee, yes, legit. Like his wife is actually from here. He's done so much with the Johnson Foundation here in Muskogee too. Most recently, before I graduated in 2019, he's actually donated some music equipment for our high school.
That's cool, though.
With also with all that too, just now thinking about that, Jimmy Johnson winning all that, I hope to God I get to meet him at Daytona in some way, shape, or form. I would love to meet Jimmy Johnson, let him know that I'm from Muskogee, I'm from all this, and grateful for all the things he did.
Hey, and if you do gotta let them know that, you know.
I'll let him know that I also have a buddy who's from your hometown, California. I'll let him know. Just lots of emotions going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Not just us in general as race fans.
Yep.
But just the whole community.
Daytona is going to be under a flash flood warning after the checker flag flies.
Oh yeah.
And it's not going to be due to weather.
All right, but yeah, it Daytona for sure, especially after. Oh, well, my Discord kind of froze there for a second. That was interesting. But no, Daytona for sure is yeah, especially after the 500 and once Jimmy Johnson, please hope to God, completes all 200 laps, and brings it down pit road. God, man, that's gonna be so. You know, it's like one of those deals where it's like, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. Be very thankful that it happened. Now, granted, over the years, you know, people didn't like Jimmy Johnson for the same reasons that they didn't like Jeff Gordon, because he won a lot and even won so many championships at the process. But hold on. I know we want to talk, but like, hold on.
I'm holding on.
But like, you know, just it's just gonna be so surreal to say that, you know, Jimmy Johnson's career as a driver will be officially over after next year. It just feels so surreal to even say that. I mean, it felt surreal to say that 6 years ago when he initially retired as a full-time competitor, and then all of a sudden you hear him getting in an IndyCar, and he's just like, man, didn't he just retire or something? Like, what's going on here? And then he comes back to NASCAR, you know, running a limited schedule and being an owner, and it's just like, what? He's back in a way. He's giving back. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's awesome. But like, we're still going to see Jimmy Johnson around on the, you know, at the track, not on the track, but he'll be there. It's just not going to be the same with him not being like an owner driver or even just being a driver all that much anymore. But you could still, but regardless of the accolades, Johnson's had a hell of a career, you know, in anything that he might have gotten behind the wheel of. And I don't know how else to really bring it up. I don't know how else to say it, but it's going to be surreal. It's going to be very surreal.
He's still going to be in a suit, just not a driving suit.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead, Stapleton.
You had a thought, and I had to pause you for a moment because I was still in the middle of mine.
Oh.
You
You
popped
were
that
saying
thought
of how a lot of people at one point didn't like Jimmy Johnson because he won too much. I was one of them. Granted, I was a Holland fan, so it's kind of like, well, I don't want to see Jimmy win. I want to see Jeff Gordon and all that, and yeah. And yeah, I for Jimmy, maybe not necessarily in Trucks and O'Reilly for some reason, but especially in Cup, he was fast, very fast. And then eventually in IndyCar, it took him a little bit, but I remember a couple times on the ovals he figured it out a couple times. So Jimmy's really talented, and yeah, that's all. That's all I gotta say. And it's gonna be surreal to see him do his final Cup stuff. I don't know if he's gonna do like more O'Reilly and Stutz, or if this is gonna be his actual last start.
This is it. Once that checker
I
flag
thought it
flies,
was his
it's
last.
over.
I thought it was his last Cup start.
No,
I thought
he's done driving after this.
Yeah, you know, no, like he's not also that on like that truck race was the last one of him in any low risk. So
okay, I thought he was
so
gonna
this
do
thing
O'Reilly.
is like all around. No more O'Reilly, no more trucks before we get to Daytona.
Yeah, and I just thought of something. Isn't next year Hamlin's last year too?
Yeah.
Well, it's being rumored. It's not official.
I think.
It's for Bowman though.
That's true.
But
you
know,
it's gonna be a whirlwind of emotions. And speaking of emotions, I think let's turn those emotions into positive emotions because NASCAR's back in Iowa. So let's go ahead and preview Iowa. So gentlemen,
NASCAR's back in general.
NASCAR is back in general, and I think they're pretty much going to be going from now all the way to the end of the season. So
no more off weeks.
No more off weeks. It is crunch time. What are we looking for? What are we expecting?
Carnage. Lots of carnage. And what I mean by the carnage, like we know turn one is you can dive bomb into turn one along with turn three. But it's mostly like coming off of 2 and 4. And that's where I think a lot of the carnage is mostly going to happen. Everyone trying to dive bomb, getting loose, on the corner exits and everything.
It'll definitely be interesting of how the part of Iowa and the turns that they repaved a couple years ago. It'll be interesting of how that keeps on aging in the next like couple years, because Like, I don't know if it'll ever get to the point where it was before they repaved the tons, but they can run like from the bottom to the wall.
Yeah.
But I think maybe eventually it will be where they can run like 2 or 3 different grooves within that fresh paved part, and I'll just have to run the bottom the entire time. Like, part of me wishes they didn't repave Iowa
Yeah.
partially, but they did. So, but it'll be interesting, for sure.
This race should be good. All the rest, all the week off be chewed off. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, this weekend will be pretty fun at both the O'Reilly and
All right. So with that said, let's brighten up the mood a little bit more. Let's brighten it up a little bit more and get on down into our predictions. So for those that are brand new to the show and are not exactly sure how we make our picks, here's how we go ahead and make them. We give you a driver who we think is going to win. That's pretty self-explanatory. The driver to stay away from is the driver that hasn't been doing well the last couple of weeks, or we're just coming up to a track where they don't perform all that well at, whether statistically or in general. And the dark horse is the exact opposite. And it's just, again, is O'Reilly. I almost said Xfinity. O'Reilly's and Cup at the Iowa Speedway. Trucks will be back, I do believe, the following weekend at Richmond. So we have 2 series here. So with that said, Sly, you are up first.
So let's see for the
O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
I had to be Stapleton too because I know it'd take too long. My dark horse. I'm actually going to take Parker Retzloff.
Okay.
Driver to stay away from. I think I'm going to go Dean Thompson on this one. I'm tossed up between 2 people for my driver to win. You know what? He got his first stage win last time they raced. He's back in the car for the remainder of the year.
Oh boy.
I am actually taking Raja Caruth.
Oh,
How about that though?
Hey, I gotta try to keep the points lead. I'm going big, or I'm going home.
You are home.
10,000 comedians, and this guy wants to be one. All right. For the Cup Series, my dark horse. My dark horse. I'm going to take Ty Gibbs.
I like that one. I like that prediction.
Driver to stay away from, Austin Hill. And my driver to win. Ooh, I don't know if I should go ballsy or go suicidal. And the second one's never stopped me. Give me SVG
Oh my.
for his first oval win.
Oh my.
okay.
All right.
that's bold.
Yep.
That's
Oh.
very bold.
Very bold. All right. Stapleton, you are up next.
All right. Whoa. O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Don't take my job.
What? You take too long. You're fired.
I was ready to hit the sample both times.
Early bird catches the worm.
Anyway, time for my Autopilot Series predictions for Iowa Speedway. And I will go ahead and do this. For my dark horse, he finished 3rd last year. Give me Ross Chastain as my dark horse.
Okay.
We all know how dominant Dream Motorsports has been the last 2 years, and I think Ross will probably have another good one. My driver to stay away from. Taylor Gray.
Alright.
I know he's in that Chase Cutland battle, but based off of last year, he's kind of mid at this race, so I don't think he's gonna do good again. However, my driver to win, 1 in 2024, 1 in 2025, and I think he's gonna 3P at Iowa at the right time. Give me Sam Mayer to win and win at Iowa 3 years in a row.
That would be interesting.
That would be crazy.
Forgot he won it back to back.
With 2 different teams.
Yeah.
Dream Motorsports and then Haas Factory. So yeah, and then for my cup predictions, let's see here. My dark horse, Penske's always good at these short ovals. I'm gonna go with Brian Blaine as my dark horse. My driver to stay away from, he's been on a downward spiral, and I don't think that's gonna rebound here this week. So give me Bubba Wallace, unfortunately. And as my driver to win, oh jeez, I'm torn. Do I want to go medium really bold, or do I really want to go really balls to the walls here?
I mean, look what I did.
You know, I'm stack filled today. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with someone that finished top 5 at Iowa last year. And I think the next month is going to be very, very important for this team to try and make it into the chase. And it starts at Iowa. Short track ace Ryan Weiss will win. I believe he's won at Iowa before in the O'Reilly series for GTR.
Yes, he has.
Way back in the day.
Yes.
So,
First win, if I'm not mistaken.
that is his
I
first
think so.
win. I believe that was his second start with the team, actually, that year.
So, he's won it before. He got top 5 last year. And we all know how good Ryan Priest is on the short ovals. And I think, like, based off of what I heard with the Fair East step earlier today, he kind of convinced me on the Ryan Priest momentum at these flat ovals. He doesn't qualify well, but he always gets his way up through the field based off of this year. So, if they can qualify good, I think Ryan Priest is going to be a damn good shot to possibly steal it at Iowa and make that Chase Cut line battle a little bit closer going into Richmond and New Hampshire and Daytona. So a little bit bold, but probably not too bold.
Absolutely.
I'm going with Wine, please.
There you go. All right, Wyatt, you are up next.
All right, for the
Of course, when the one time I'm not ready. Oh, Wiley. Oh, parts. I was ready for me to slide, but I was not ready for you. Why? I'm sorry.
time. Anyways, for the O'Reilly series, my dark horse, I don't think he's going three, but I see him running good. I have Sam Mayer as my dark horse. Three-peat, but I think there's someone that has better momentum as of right now than Sam Mayer at the moment. My driver to stay away from, Jeff Bergen. That's Jeff. My winner, Allgaier. Come on.
All right.
I mean, he's won Iowa. Because he's won Iowa in the past, he's pretty good up here. You can't ignore the run that Allgaier's been on. It's hard not to choose him. I got Dustin Allgaier. For the Cup Series, I got a little bit interesting on mine. Somewhat. My dark horse is actually last year's winner. I got William Byron.
Okay.
Momentum get back up there. Even though William Byron's only 88 points above, still in a somewhat danger zone, but this is one of his best tracks. So I got William Byron as my dark horse. My driver to stay away from. This is actually the one with Stapleton was going on his deal. I don't know if anyone else was thinking about it, but we're talking about this guy has been on a downward spiral as of late. I don't know if y'all saw the number when he did it before he mentioned Bubba Wallace, but this was my stay away. Sorry, Stapleton. I got Larson.
Wow.
I'm sorry, you cannot deny. You can't deny, especially now that figuring out that Larson has not been doing the only two races we've been here. That kind of solidifies it for me. I got Larson as my stay away. Much as I hate to say it, I got Larson as my stay away. And I really thought he was about to put his stay away. But my driver to win, I think he's going to be the first repeat Cup winner. And Ford's been dominant. Give me Ryan Blaney. And this,
Nice.
And that should close the gap more between him and Hamlin's battle for the regular season championship.
Absolutely. All right, it is now officially my turn to make my predictions. Starting off with the
Series.
at Iowa. So with my driver to win, I almost repeated myself there. Starting off with my driver to win, I think I might have to go with Sam Mayer here. Honestly, that Iowa dominance has been impressive, given of how he has won back-to-back, and especially for two different teams at that same time. So I'm going to put my money on Sam Mayer and Iowa. Definitely a great track driver combo. A little iffy now that Haas factory team is with Chevy, but I'm not going to deny Sam Mayer's ability at Iowa. Driver to stay away from, Derek Lemke. Natalie Decker's husband.
Wait, what?
I kid you not. Derek Lemke is Natalie Decker's husband. He is making his O'Reilly Series debut this weekend.
Not gonna lie. I would trust Cletus McFarland before him. That's not saying much.
Don't get me wrong. Lemke has done well in the truck series, even in the starts that Decker could have had in the truck series. But Derek Lemke obviously had some of those opportunities, but now he's got one with the O'Reilly Series, making his debut this year. but he's gonna be my driver to stay away from. I'm sorry. It's just he's my driver to stay away from. I'm sorry. Sorry, Natalie. But my dark horse, I will agree with Raja Karuth here. He's in the 88 for the rest of the year, which should give him,
Thank God.
it should give him a pretty good confidence booster going into the remainder of this regular season, which cough cough 2 races left. But then going into the chase, should he accumulate all the stage points that he needs and the finishes that he needs in order to put him inside of the top 12. And now it's time for your main event. The third annual Iowa Corn 350 powered by ethanol at the Iowa Speedway for the NASCAR Cup Series. Here we go. Honestly, American ethanol would have been a lot better cap into that title name for the race instead of just ethanol. But here we go. My driver to win for the Cup race at Iowa. I gotta go with like anybody from the Toyota camp. Anybody from the Toyota camp that has honestly really stood out, you know, from that area. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, I think I'm gonna have Chase Briscoe as my driver to win.
You made Wyatt happy.
It's a bit of a, compared to the last 2 races that we've had, it's a bit of an oddball, but Chase Briscoe, I personally do feel like, you know, especially with Toyota's dominance as of recently, I feel like he's gonna be the one that shines the brightest out of all the Toyotas this upcoming weekend. My driver to stay away from, if I'm being 100% honest, I think I might say Brad Keselowski's my driver to stay away from.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't really been too incredibly fond of like this sort of downward spiral that Keselowski's had, you know, these last few down weeks that he's had. I just don't really think he's gonna perform all that great at Iowa. I think he'll run good. It's just something is gonna happen that's gonna ultimately cost him a blown tire, maybe a blown motor, which speaking of, I don't think I've ever seen a motor detonate in a while. Detonate in smoke. I want to clarify that. Not in a long time. But I feel like for Kaz, I think the motor might blow, potentially a mechanical failure, might have a tire failure, might get involved in a wreck somehow. So unfortunately, Keselowski's my driver to stay away from. But my dark horse, I might go on a bit of a different direction here. I will say Ryan Blaney will be my dark horse.
All right.
Blaney and Iowa definitely do mix pretty well. Obviously in the past success that he's had at the track, you know, with trucks and the then Xfinity series, and now with Cup, he has won at that racetrack in all 3 divisions. So I will definitely put my money on Ryan Blaney as the dark horse. But alrighty, gentlemen, we've done everything that we've needed to do. We have we have reviewed our points coming into this weekend to jog our memories. We've gone over our breaking stories and theories. We've also went ahead and previewed Iowa. So with that said, gentlemen, one last question. Any final thoughts before we get the Iowa weekend underway?
NASCAR second, go back racing.
NASCAR is back. I am very excited for it to be back. And I'm ready for the race to the chase to end. And I'm excited for the actual chase to get started. I'm glad that NASCAR's back for the rest of the year. I was very bored this past weekend. So I'm really happy that it's back for the rest of this season.
Let's go short track race.
Well,
Like,
alrighty.
sound happy with that.
Absolutely. Well, alrighty,
Hey, you
though.
know what? Enthusiasm.
Well, alrighty, for the umpteenth time. That is definitely, I think this is definitely a good spot to put a cap on this episode of GTN. So I want to thank you guys a lot for watching and or listening to this episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR, whether if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify. Just be sure to, if you're on Spotify, hit that green follow button so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you are watching this on YouTube, do us a huge favor. Be sure to hit that like button and be sure to consider subscribing in order to keep up with all the episodes coming out in the near future between now and all the way to the end of the season and then some. And all of these episodes, by the way, they do drop every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Spotify. On behalf of Nathan Stapleton, Slifer, and my co-host Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, and we'll talk to you guys on the very next episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR.
Thanks for listening to tonight's episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss a future episode throughout the NASCAR season. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.